Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Floss, back again with another video. And today we're gonna be reviewing, just playing. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Showing Tech. Today on the channel, we are doing a long-awaited comparison. I have finally gotten my hands on a pair of the Liberty Pro 2s. So today we're gonna be looking at a comparison between the Liberty Pro 2s, or the Liberty 2 Pros, and the Liberty Air 2s. Now, because there's already numerous videos on the channel that break down the Liberty Air 2s and what they do well, the main focus of this video is actually going to be on the Liberty 2 Pros. So these two earbuds are very different in that it seems to me that Soundcore did a very good job at trying to appeal to the two types of consumers of truly wireless buds. So you have the consumers that really like the look of the Airpods with the stock style, and you also have those who prefer the traditional buds style look. So it's really nice that you're able to go out and grab either of these two options without really having to sacrifice too much in terms of the sound quality and the overall build quality. So starting off with the price, you can find the Liberty 2 Pros on Amazon right now for $199 Canadian. At the time of recording, there's actually a $40 coupon, so you can get a very nice and easy $40 off, bringing these down to $159.99 Canadian. On the other side, we have the Liberty Air 2s, which we already know cost $139 Canadian. There's a $20 coupon available currently as well that dropped that price down for you. And in the US, you're able to pick these up for 99 bucks. Now, I'm not really sure about the coupons on the US market of Amazon, so that's something that you'd probably have to check out on your own, but I'll put the links down in the description for those of you who are curious. So looking at the design, the look, and the fit of the Liberty 2 Pros, we can see here, as we mentioned before, that these are a very nice premium looking oval shaped design, similar to a lot of the higher end earbuds that we currently have in the market. Now, because they've gone for that oval shaped design and because of how many things they have packed into these buds, they are a little bit heavier than the Liberty Air 2s, and as such, they include wingtips in the box in order to increase the stability and fit when placed in your ear. In addition to that, they come packaged with 7 different sizes of ear tips to pretty much ensure that no matter who goes out and buys these, they're going to be able to find a fit that is comfortable for them. And the biggest thing about that I enjoy is that no matter which tips you decide to put on these earbuds, especially the wing tips, they do fit comfortably in the case, and it does not cause any issues when trying to close the case. Looking at you, Skull Candy. So I was a little bit apprehensive at first because my first foray into the earbuds that include those wingtips was actually when using the Skull Candies. And as you know, based on my last video, the Skull Candy fit was, for me anyways, terrible. So I just had this assumption that any earbuds that include wingtips in the box are probably going to fit the same in my ears. Now, gladly, I was mistaken in that the wingtips that are included in these guys here are actually very comfortable. They do fit well, and they do match the folds of my ears. So the fit for me was very snug when running. I've used these not only while running, I've also used them at the gym. So any kind of bench activities that I was doing, be it a flat bench, incline, or decline, they stayed very snug in my ears. They didn't get in the way when I was doing any pull-ups or any fast-paced movement or things that have a lot of feedback, such as hitting a heavy bag. I was able to do all those things without having to stop and adjust the fit. So once you've put the effort into finding the right size tips that fit for you and the right size wing tips that fit for you, then you should have no problem with the fit of these whatsoever. What I did find though is that when wearing them for extended periods of time, so if I went to the gym for more than an hour, let's say, which I try my best not to do, but if I went for the gym for longer than an hour, that's when I kind of started to feel the discomfort in them. You definitely do know that they're there while wearing them, versus the Liberty Air 2s. I can wear these for well over an hour. I've watched countless movies with them in the entire time and had no problem. So there's a little bit of a sacrifice or a little bit of a trade-off in terms of the overall comfort while wearing these. Now, my biggest issue with the design of the Liberty 2 Pros comes in the form of its carrying/charging case. So while the carrying case is very satisfying to slide open and slide closed, I do find issue in the size of it. So by comparison, the size of the Liberty 2 Pro case is much larger than the Liberty Air 2 case, but I can definitely see that when it starts getting warmer outside, I'm not gonna wanna have this massive case in my pocket. This would probably be more so something that sort of stays in my backpack or somewhere else, because I would only be using these for a short period of time. In addition to that, the placement of the earbuds in the case, I don't really have the thickest fingers. I do have very large hands and very long fingers, but for whatever reason, I find myself always fumbling in order to try to get the earbuds out of the case. So what I've been doing personally is I reach for the wingtips specifically as my way to pull them out. Maybe for those of you who have smaller hands, it'll be a lot easier for you, but that seems to be one thing that causes a lot of issues for me currently. And then finally, with regards to the case, you'll notice that on the back of the case, there is a little flap that covers the USB port for obvious reasons. And while it seems like a nitpick, I just prefer having an open port like they have here on the Air 2s. At the end of the day, it's 2020. Most of us probably have wireless charging pads anyways. I mean, I never have charged my Air 2s with a cord. I've always just thrown them on the charging pad. But for those of you who don't have a charging pad yet, you might find it a little annoying from time to time to have to open and slide the flap out of the way and slide it back. And it's definitely something that I can see wearing down and breaking over time. So just keep that in mind if you're looking at grabbing the Pros. The last part of the design that doesn't really work for me personally is that these are only IPX4 rated, so they're able to withstand splashes, so rain and sweat, whereas the Air 2s are IPX5, so they have a little bit higher water resistance. You could put them directly under a tap and not have any issues. And that's a problem because I like to wear my earbuds in the hot tub after a workout, so I don't know what sort of effect that would have on the Pro 2s after extended periods of time. So in terms of the overall look, design, and the fit of them, I do prefer the Air 2s to the 2 Pros for numerous reasons. But even though I've said in previous videos how much I like the look of black devices, these are actually going to be available in white very shortly. And from what I've seen thus far from the snapshots and pictures at CES, the white does look very good. The battery life is the next area of focus, and that is a very easy one. So the Air 2s are able to give you 7 hours of play off of a single charge, where the 2 Pros are able to give you 8 hours off of a single charge. Each of these are able to be charged 3 times fully by the case itself. So in the long run, the 2 Pros will give you an extra 4 hours of playtime, coming in at 32 hours total versus the 28 hours that you would get out of the Airs. Now, I've already said this before, but with any wireless earbuds that you buy these days, they all come with a battery case and they're all rated to last more than a day. So there's very few times where that's going to be a problem for any of you, whether you get the 28 hours or the 32, or even one that only lasts for 18. I mean, at the end of the day, we all charge our devices very regularly, so that really shouldn't be an issue for anybody. So with regards to the controls, I'm really happy to say that the Pros have a physical button that you can use when controlling them versus the touch controls of the Airs. So that physical button is placed on the top of the device, which means that when you have them in your ears and you want to quickly pause your song or move the track forward, you're not fumbling trying to figure out where exactly to touch, and you're also not pushing it deeper into your ear canal. The fact that they put the button on top means that you're very easily able to use your thumb as a platform while doing whatever activity you're doing, and then lightly pressing on the button. The button feels very premium. It doesn't feel like something that isn't going to last you in the long run. It registers your presses very well. You won't have any misclick, and as such, you're going to be able to control these with absolutely no problems. Another thing that I like about the control setup of the Pros is that, similar to the Airs, you do have 4 separate functions that you can program. So you have the double press and then you have a press and hold. Now on the Airs, it was a press and hold for 2 seconds. So you press and hold the sensor for 2 seconds in order to do whatever you set it to do, be that play the music, put the track forward, or adjust the volume. But on the Pros, it's a press and hold for only 1 second. And I mean, that 1 second of time, or 1 second time difference, seems like it wouldn't be much, but in reality, you actually notice a very big difference. You don't have to sit there very long wondering whether or not you input the command correctly or if your click was registered, because of how short that wait time is. So I just like that feeling of it being a little bit more responsive, a little bit snappier, and that I'm not having to wait even slightly to do what it is that I want to do with my earbuds. And then probably the most important aspect is the sound. So we've all heard that the Air 2s feature diamond coated drivers and that the Pro 2s feature Astria coaxial acoustic architecture. Now, none of us really know exactly what that means, either of those things, so the diamond coated drivers or the Astria acoustic coaxial architecture, but what they advertise it as being is for the diamond coated drivers, all that means is that you're able to increase the sound frequency bandwidth by 15% as well as double the bass. Whereas with the Astria coaxial acoustic architecture, the earbuds are able to completely eliminate interference and produce harmonized treble and bass to create sound. So you can take both those things at face value. I mean, as an average consumer, I don't really care or understand the technical side of those things. I just know that the two Pros have that extra driver in them and they sound amazing. Now, that's not to say that just having the diamond coated drivers of the Air 2s doesn't sound good as well, because we've already discussed just how great these sound, but it's surprising to me that Soundcore was able to improve on what the Air 2s have done so well and make it even better in the Pros. So the Pros, as you would expect, also support the Qualcomm aptX and Bluetooth 5, which is the same high definition codec that you would expect and find in those more expensive options like the Sony 1000s and your Sennheisers. So at a much lower price point, you're still getting that top tier, top shelf quality in terms of the overall specs of these devices. And then finally, these as well can be used in both mono and stereo, which is huge because I'm someone that prefers to have just the left earbud in whenever I'm in an environment where I may need to speak to somebody or hear what's going on. I know a lot of people prefer the right side for whatever reason, but for me, I've always been someone that kept the left earbud in. And so it was very annoying using cheaper or lower quality headphones that had that slave and master setup where you could only use the right one in mono and the left one had to be in the case. This one, it really doesn't matter. You can change them at any time and it's automatically gonna make that flip over for you and just work. So the overall sound of the Pros is honestly amazing. I've spent a lot of time going back and forth between the Airs and the Pros, just trying to pinpoint what the main differences were in the sound. And one thing that I can definitely say is that while the Air 2s have good bass, the Pros improve on it. And yes, the bass is strong. Yes, the bass is bumping, but it never distorts or takes away from the rest of the media that you're listening to. So without discussing the lows and the highs and the mids and the sound stage and all these things, just know that when you are using these, you can set them to the highest bass setting, bump that bass, and know that you're not gonna sacrifice anything else in the music that you're listening to. And so that's pretty much it. I mean, in all honesty, both of these devices are great. Yes, you are going to get a little bit more out of the Pros, but what it comes down to is your preference and what you're using them for. So if you're somebody who wants to wear these when you are traveling, so you take a lot of planes, your commutes are longer than average, then you're probably gonna want something like the Airs where they're a little bit more comfortable. You don't have to worry about wearing them for too long and wanting to take them out and having that ear fatigue. If you're also somebody that likes to wear your earbuds to the gym and you're someone that gets a little bit sweaty, then as we said, both of these are IPX rated. However, the Airs offer a little bit more protection in that sense, and we don't really know yet how extended gym use and those high moisture environments would affect the Pros. But if you're someone that's using them for specifically their sound, you know that you're only going to be wearing them for 30 to 45 minutes at a time, and you really want to maximize the overall listening experience, then the Pros are definitely for you. The difference is only $50, and I mean, you probably feel better off spending it somewhere else. So just know that if you weren't to upgrade, you're really not losing out on much by just either keeping the Airs or getting the Airs instead of going for the Pros. And so that's it for me. Thank you again for watching. If this video was helpful to you in any way, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe. Don't really worry about the bell notification. I don't want to annoy you with emails and things like that. Every time I put up a video, I'm sure you'll see it whenever it is that you log in. So thank you again for watching. Much love as always. Throwing up 2 of them, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.